Just saying there's no difference between what you're doing now and an impeachment inquiry, correct?
In effect.
Good morning and welcome to AM Joy. The battle over impeachment took a major turn on Friday, with House Judiciary Chair Jerry Nadler essentially confirming his committee is in effect beginning an impeachment inquiry into Donald Trump, though they're calling it an impeachment investigation. The committee issued a report on Friday, filing on Friday, demanding underlining grand jury material from Robert Mueller's investigation so that the committee can, quote, consider whether to exercise its full Article I powers, including a constitutional power of the utmost gravity, approval of articles of impeachment. Now, as of now, 98 members of the House support an impeachment vote or inquiry, with that number growing by at least 7 since Robert Mueller's testimony on Wednesday. Since Nadler's announcement, multiple members of Congress have called what we're seeing the inception of an impeachment inquiry. However, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi still won't quite cross that line.
I'm not trying to run out the clock. Let's get sophisticated about this, okay? The decision will be made in a timely fashion. This isn't endless. And when we have the best, strongest possible case.
Okay, joining us now is Lawrence Tribe, constitutional law professor at Harvard University. And, okay, Professor Tribe, you are the expert on this. Is what we are seeing now an impeachment inquiry in your view?
Yes. Very short answer. It's a very easy question. A petition was filed yesterday by the House of Representatives with the approval of the Speaker, formally notifying the district court for the District of Columbia, the federal district court, that an impeachment inquiry is now underway. So the eagle has taken off. There's no question about it. There may be political reasons for Congressman Lieu earlier in your program or others to look for different names for it, but it's irrelevant. This is an impeachment inquiry, and it matters because under the law, as soon as the House of Representatives, with or without a formal resolution authorizing the opening of an impeachment inquiry, as soon as it actually conducts an impeachment inquiry, that unlocks the door to grand jury material and a lot else. That's what's going on now. That's what I've been calling for ever since April. People who want more than that are obviously asking for the impossible. There's not going to be an impeachment vote on articles of impeachment until this inquiry generates more information, even if we already have enough to justify impeachment. But the bottom line is yes, the answer to your question, an impeachment inquiry is now underway.
Okay, so given that, how does it change the power of the Congress to subpoena people? Because what we've seen so far is that the House committees subpoena someone in the Trump world and they just say no and they don't show up and then nothing happens. When it's an impeachment inquiry, do they have more power to make people appear?
Absolutely. For one thing, a lot of the basis on which they may say no is that there's grand jury secrecy. The federal rules of criminal procedure prevent the release of information from the grand jury. But those rules make an exception under Rule 6E once an impeachment inquiry is underway. So a court, quite apart from what any individual may want to do, a court is going to order the opening of the gates, the release of information, both to the Judiciary Committee and to Adam Schiff's Intelligence Committee. On top of that, when witnesses are recalcitrant or where they hem and haw and when they say, you can take your subpoena and, shove it. When they say that, a court is going to push back because now that the House of Representatives is invoking its most solemn power to decide whether or not to impeach a sitting president, all of the privileges and immunities and bases for hesitation that individuals might otherwise have go out the window. The priority now goes to the House of Representatives and its ability in a grand inquest of the nation to get whatever information it needs to make an intelligent decision about whether or not the president has committed high crimes and misdemeanors, and if so, exactly what to do about it.
Well, and here's my question now, because, perhaps a lot of people don't have as much trust as they would like to in the Supreme Court. Could the fact that Democrats are reluctant to call it an impeachment inquiry and are calling it an impeachment investigation, could then the Trump administration take this all the way to the Supreme Court and claim that they don't have to follow subpoenas, et cetera, because the Democrats haven't called it the right thing?
Anything could happen, but it seems to me that would be so transparently and blatantly partisan and so manipulative that it wouldn't fly, because the cases make it absolutely clear that to make everything turn on which particular impeachment word you use, impeachment inquiry, impeachment investigation, impeachment proceeding, would be impermissible. It would be a violation of the separation of powers, among other things, for the Supreme Court to tell Nancy Pelosi what words she has to use or how much pressure she has to put on her members to stand up and be counted on the House floor in a vote on a resolution of some kind as a prerequisite to getting the information. So it's not impossible, but it would be way beyond what even this very conservative court has done.
Professor Lawrence Tribe, it is always such a privilege to be able to talk to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for clearing a lot of that.
Thank you, Joy. It's always great to talk to you.
Thank you, sir, very much. All right. Enjoy